a little less than 20 days to 2021, and we are really close to reaching 2000 subscribers. A very big thank you to all of you, because you guys are the reason we are reaching this. I never thought I'd do this, and also a little bit, and also sorry for not being consistent, but yeah, work again. So here we are yet again with another video. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and I hope you all are doing amazingly fine. If you guys are new around here, I make a lot of content that revolves around aviation, my daily vlogs, and I guess that's about it. Let's get started. Intro. Now guys, today's video is one of the most important videos that I think I am posting on my channel, and it is related to medical fitness. Yes, medical fitness before you even think of becoming a pilot, and later on in your career as a professional pilot, what all are the things that you need to take care of, and what are the medical requirements that you need to renew or you need to actually look after throughout your whole professional life. Now, throughout my all videos, I always talk about the advantages and disadvantages of being a commercial pilot. But one thing that you really need to keep in mind is that being a pilot has its own responsibility, and one such responsibility is taking care of your own medical fitness. Well, and it's not only after you fetch a job or after you have a CPL, but even before opting for one, or even before starting your training, you need to undergo a certain medical tests. Now, there are two main medical tests that you will be doing throughout your whole career, before you join a flying school and even after, until you retire basically. That is Class 1 and Class 2 medical. Now, just before we go into the details, I want to tell you guys that if any of you are even thinking of becoming a pilot, do not go and join a flying club unless and until you have done your Class 2 or Class 1 medical. Okay, now let's get into the details. So to start with, let's say that you're an aspiring pilot and that you want to start your flying career and you want to join a flying club. The first thing that you need to do is do your Class 2 medical. Yeah, Class 2 is the most basic medical that you need to clear in order to even, think of becoming a pilot. That is also the requirement of most of the flying clubs in India, that they will at least ask for a medical Class 2 assessment from you before they take you in as a student. Now, do not think of this that it's going to be super easy, or this Class 2 is just simple and later the test might get difficult. Class 2, I would say, is as strict, or the medical criteria that you need to clear in order to get a Class 2 assessment from DGCA is as good as Class 1. A few tests are less, which we'll talk about later in the video, but yeah. Let's see what all are the requirements and where you can do this Class 2 examination in India. Also remember that if you want to give your SPL exam, that is your student pilot license exam, or if you're only looking to be a private pilot or get a PPL license, then you only require Class 2. You do not need to do Class 1 examination. But if you want to have a commercial pilot license, even ahead sometime in your career after getting a PPL, you will require Class 1 medical. Now, the documents that you need to have or to apply for a Class 2 medical at any of the centers, which we'll talk in a moment, are basically your 10th certificate, your 10+2 certificate, and mark sheets. You'll also require an identification proof like passport, Aadhaar card, or any other identification proof, and a few photographs. Now, to start with, in order to get a Class 2 medical done or to have a medical assessment, you need to approach any of the many DGCA approved medical examiners, which are literally in every part of the country. You can find a list of them. I have attached it in the description. You can go check it out. Also, there are many Air Force stations or Air Force medical stations where you can go and get it done as well. Remember, all of the tests that are required, which we'll talk about, have to be done from any NABL or any NABH approved lab or hospital only. One more thing, guys, if any of you are aspiring pilots and you're looking for a training institute where you can do your ground training, well, at Maverick Aviation, we are starting new batches in this month itself, which will be aiming for the next DGCA attempt. Also, I am really happy to announce that we have secured 92% results in the previous batch that we conducted throughout all the subjects, and it's good. So if any of you want to join the institute, you can email me, or you can use our WhatsApp number and directly connect to the team, and they will guide you in every single way possible. Let's continue. Now, the next thing, let's talk about what all are the medical tests that are conducted in the class 2 medical. Now, in the class 2 medical, number one, you'll go through a blood test, that is a complete CBC. You'll go through a urine routine, then there is eye checkup, then there is ultrasound, there is a pure tone audiometry in order to check your hearing capability. Then, apart from that, you have ENT, that is your nose and throat checking, and apart from that, one of the most important, I would say, is your BMI. Now, what is BMI? BMI is body mass index, which is simply a ratio of your height to weight, and you might have heard it in your school as well. And your BMI really needs to be within the margin. So people who are overweight or people who are underweight, you better check it up and you better get your BMI in the normal margin, because if you're overweight, then there are a lot more. I think at least 2 to 3 more tests that you'll have to do, like something known as a sleep test and a stress test. Where that's gonna just increase your workload together. Complete list of all of the required tests are right down in the description. You can go and check them out, or they're also on the screen right now. You can pause it. Let's go ahead. One of the frequently asked questions that I get is that, sir, can I become a commercial pilot license holder if I have specs? Or I don't have specs. These are just for fun. I don't like to wear them because, anyways, yes, you can absolutely be a pilot, provided that you have 6x6 vision with corrective lenses on. Also, one very important thing that is completely not tolerated by any doctor or by DGCA is that you cannot be colorblind, nor can you have night blindness. It is taken very seriously. Now, the reason, even if you have the slightest of color blindness, they just don't allow you. Now, what is the reason is because when you fly bigger aircrafts, you have all digital screens. Okay, now I'm not going to go into depth, but there are certain color coded things that on those screens, if you think of orange as yellow or green as blue, it's going to mess up a lot of things in your flight. So that is the reason that color blindness is not allowed, and your doctors will see to it that they check everything, and if they find even the slightest of clue of you being colorblind or night blind, you will fail your medical, and that's going to be a permanent you're going to be unfit forever. They're not going to let you go ahead, because I don't think that's something that can be corrected. Also, audiometry is taken very seriously, so that you can hear certain tones at a certain frequency, and a lot of students do fail in this as well, because in your college days, in your school days, at least at this point, we have a habit of using earphones. If you want to be a pilot, a suggestion from my side, stop using earphones. Use them minimal, only when required, or really you don't have a choice. Just don't use them. Don't hear music out loud. It's gonna damage your ears a lot, and in turn you'll not be able to be a pilot or even clear the medical. If your medical examiner finds all of these tests right, and if you're within all the ranges, then he will basically give you a certain set of documents. Some of the documents will be given to you, some will be sent to DGCA, and you'll have to sign a lot of forms, and finally you will get a temporary you can say an application, or a receipt kind of thing, or basically it's a certificate. It's called a CA35 form, in which the doctor will tell you, okay, not DGCA, the doctor will tell you that you're fit, unfit, or temporary unfit. If you're fit, you can use that form, you can go and take admission in most of the flying schools. Later on, once your documents reach DGCA, and once DGCA medical doctors examine it, and then they will issue you a medical assessment. Now all of it is done online. You have to basically have a EGCA login. Now EGCA is a topic for another video. We'll talk about that later. You can just Google it for now. But that's something you'll require later, and you can basically collect your medical assessment online, or it's also posted to you if you're medically fit by DGCA in a span of 1 to 2 months. So that's it about your class 2 medical, which is like the initial step. Now, moving on to class 1 medical. Now mind it, you can complete your whole flying training on a class 2 medical. Class 2 medical has 2 years of validity. So I guess that's the amount of time that you guys basically think of how much time of finishing your flying training. But if you want to get your CPL issued, by that time you need to have a class 1 medical. Class 1 medical is the top notch. Okay, इसके ऊपर कुछ नहीं है. So if you have a class 1 medical, you're basically good to go to fly commercially as well later on in an airline. But Now, in order to get a class 1, you need to apply for it just like you did for class 2. But for class 1 medical, the initial class 1 medical I'm talking about, there are only 5 centers that is throughout India where you can apply for them. The 5 centers are AFCME Delhi, MAC Jorat, then you have AIM Bangalore, or you have the Nanavati Hospital in Mumbai, or the Apollo Heart Center in Chennai. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that unlike your class 2 medical, there is a separate process in order to apply for an initial class 1, okay? And that is that you have to basically fill up this form, which you can find in the description down below, and email it onto the email ID that is right now on your screens. Okay, this is the new centralized process which is basically introduced by DGCA. Makes life really easy. You can apply for it online without posting, faxing, anything, which was to be done earlier. But one more thing to keep in mind is that if you're expecting to get a certain date, please send this email at least 1.5 to 2 months prior to when you want your medical date to be appointed, because now this whole portal is used by every single pilot throughout the country. So you can assume of a number of people wanting to get an appointment. So you can send a request date anytime 15 days prior to when you want it, or up to 3 months. No, I think 2 months. No, yeah, 3 months before your date. So you have good ample amount of time. That's why I give you a reasonable amount of time, that is 1.5 to 2 months. That should do your job. Class 1 will have 1 or 2 tests more than your class 2, but I'm sure that most of the doctors which do your class 2 initial do take care of this test, and they do it in the class 2 itself, so that there's no doubt that you guys might fail your class 1. So if you clear your class 2, 9 out of 10 students will clear the class 1 as well. Next, let's talk about the fees that are involved in order to do these medical examinations. Now, in order to do a class 2 or class 1, it will cost you somewhere around 4,000 to 5,000 tops if you're doing it at an Air Force station, since it's a government institute. But if you're doing it from any doctor at any private institute which is authorized by DGCA, then it can go up to 10 to 15,000 depending on what all tests you're doing. If you have to do some extra tests, then of course the cost will also increase, but you can keep that figure in mind. Also guys, in this video I'm putting a list of all the Air Force stations where you can get your medical done. It's on your screen right now. You'll also find a link to it in the description, so do go and check, because all of these stations do not take appointments 5 days a week. Some of them do take it 2, some of them take it all the 5 days, so you need to actually plan it accordingly. And as I told you earlier, that you can take appointments 15 days prior to your decided date, or up to 90 days before. Let's say you got your class 2, you got your class 1, after that what? Now that doesn't end there. Every single year you also have to renew your class 1, and every 5th year in your life, like let's say 25, when you become 25, or when you become 30, 35, you have to do the reinitial again. Okay, now renewals are not really a difficult thing. In renewals you only have to give your blood, basically your CBC and urine routine. Okay, that's about it, and the doctor will check the reports. So everything's fine, you will get a renewal done there and then. But every 5 years, that is at the age of 25, 30 for example, you have to do the class 1 reinitial again from any of the number of IAF stations, that are Air Force stations, which I already named earlier. You can again check the link in description. Now you only do this until you're 30, but once you cross 30 years of age, then the tests that are required in your renewal also increase, and a list of that is right now on your screens. You can check it out. So this is what I was saying, medical is like, that's something you need to really maintain. Medical fitness is topmost in the field of aviation. Anything, a small accident can result in you being unfit, and basically if you're unfit, your license is as good as a piece of paper. You cannot use it, you cannot fly until you're medically fit again. So you see that with age the medical requirements also get strict and more strict, and that is something that DGCA needs to do, or any you can say that any regulatory body which is related to aviation has to do, because the responsibility of a pilot is a lot. You're taking care of so many passengers, so if you're not fit to fly a plane, you're just not fit to fly a plane. So I hope that most of the things are clear. I'll be putting a lot of links in the description. You can go and check them, and if you have any doubts, you can leave them down in the comment. If you like the video, do comment and ask me any questions that you have. It's great again to see you all, meet you all after a long time. So guys, that's about it. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, do leave a like, hit that like button, smash it if you can. Also, if you're new around here, do not forget to subscribe and also hit that bell icon so that you're notified for the next video whenever I put it. With that said, take care, stay safe, stay home, and like I always say guys, bloody stay golden. Bye bye.